Crazy shit. Crazy.
Operation Midnight Climax is basically
Better than it sounds.
combination of LSD, hookers, sex, blow, throwing it all together into one thing. So Sidney Gottlieb had the goal with MK Ultra. He was experimenting on all these people with psychedelics, LSD specifically, and he had the thought one day, what would happen if I combined guys getting their dick sucked and penetration sex in a brothel with sex workers, and then I threw some LSD into there. And so basically, Sidney Gottlieb hired sex workers to lure men back to these safe houses. And I say safe houses, but they looked like kind of normal, like what you would imagine bringing a sex worker back to. It's like a brothel. It was made to look like a brothel, but it was actually
room.
Exactly, yeah, in and out all the time. Sex, hookers, blow. It's just the way of life. And so Sidney Gottlieb had 2 of these houses set up, one in New York City in Greenwich Village, actually, and then another one in San Francisco. And so these houses were wired with cameras, microphones, and Gottlieb would pay these hookers to lure men back to these houses, dose them with LSD, and have sex with them. So this is Operation Midnight Climax is literally watching guys climax while they're on LSD and see what happens. And one of the main guys who did this, George H. White, who was an agent in the CIA that was working with Gottlieb, he was in the New York and San Francisco house.
Yeah.
George H. White would sit on toilets sipping margaritas. This is literally what it would say in the notes. He would sit on toilets and sip margaritas behind a one-way mirror watching the sex. So he could see them, they couldn't see him, and while he was taking notes. So imagine a guy with a pitcher full of margarita and had a notepad in the other hand, maybe a recorder, and watching a guy who somehow the sex worker slipped in LSD to probably a drink, probably beer, drinking going on, drugs, stuff like that. And he would just watch them have sex, take notes, watch the interactions, what was happening, and then he would instruct the hookers, the sex workers, to have conversations with the men after the sex. So